If you've ever had to export data for figure creation, you know it can be a very tedious task and prone to many sources of error. We have a script that automatically takes the Chemstation binary sequence data, creating CSV files for both the metadata and the XY data, which can be easily read by Excel or many other programs. I'll open the metadata and XY data files so you can see an example of how these look when they've been written to the Chemstation folder. The metadata file contains useful information such as formatted sample names and detection wavelengths, vial positions, pressure, column temperatures, method that was run for each sample, and collection date. The CSV file containing the XY data automatically captures the sample and wavelength information, eliminating transcription errors. With the automatically generated CSV files in hand, let's create some interactive plots and embed them in a PowerPoint presentation. We'll open the Trace Processing app and select the data format that corresponds to X with multiple Y. So we'll navigate to the Chemstation folder with the CSV data, double click on it, and it'll import the file data. We'll select a couple traces that we want to plot. And since the UV and refractive index detectors have very different intensities, we will peak max normalize them. Let's capture the plot as a high-resolution image and also download the interactive HTML file. Let's open up a PowerPoint slide and insert the static image. Right-click the image and insert a hyperlink to the interactive HTML file. And in slideshow mode, we click on the figure to open the interactive HTML file. We can simply toggle traces on and off by clicking the appropriate legend position. We can zoom in on traces to inspect minor peaks. And we can even zoom in on certain peaks, hover the mouse over the peak apexes, and get retention time information. And unzoom by hitting the autoscale button. Let's look at a final example with a fairly complex peptide map set of traces. We'll select the base pair chromatogram and UV traces for unstressed and stressed samples. I'll peak max normalize, truncate the data, and align the peaks to the base pair chromatogram. And then import a mass spec results file to label the peaks. I'll select a file that was exported from Biopharma Finder in this case. We'll select the retention time for the X position and then the desired labels. Let's create a plot where we have a zoomed in region showing some of the degradation forms in the peptide map. We'll reposition the labels as desired, and then we'll export a high-resolution image. And we'll also download an HTML, which allows some interactivity. As before, we'll insert a picture from the file, and then we'll hyperlink the HTML file to this image. Now in this case, we're going to open the hyperlink directly instead of in slideshow mode. And now we'll show that you can fully interact with this figure, zoom in, zoom out, select and unselect chromatograms that you want to hide, and just allow in interactive mode, either by yourself or with an audience, the ability to interrogate any region of the data that you wish on the fly, and greatly improving the stakeholders' abilities to make decisions more quickly than is possible with static plots.